like to throw people out like that, or you bring them out?
I bring them up.
Yeah, bring them up. We're back. Our next guest is a very funny individual. He's going to be sharing some thoughts with us about sitting. As an umpire, do you get to sit between innings?
Not very often.
Not very often. Huh? Please welcome Michael Melnick.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, as a person that goes around and helps people take care of their backs, one of the things that I spend a lot of time doing is teaching people how to sit. Now, be honest with me. How many of you out there woke up this morning thinking you have a very serious sitting problem? Never see a hand go up. Anybody ever get tired when you're sitting? Well, folks, that's a sitting problem. Here's the issue. It's not that sitting is bad for us. It's just that we've learned to do it for way longer than our body likes. And we've got to start paying attention to that. Let me give you an example. I want you to picture this person sitting in their office. They come in at 8 o'clock in the morning and they start working, and they start getting tired and more fatigued. And they're looking at their watch. They're going, oh, good, it's almost time for my break. Finally, their break comes. What do? They get up, they walk into a different room, and they do exactly the same thing. Their body's in there going, oh, good, different lighting. Nothing else has changed. You know when they were the most awake? When they were walking from their office to the break room. We need to pay attention to that. It's hard. People don't want to change. Not only do people not want to change, they will fight change. Let me give you another example. I was working with a company, and they had people that were sitting all day long working on reports. And they were working with the old-fashioned typewriter, and they had carbon paper. And so they would, do the typing, and then they'd take the carbons and they'd throw it away. And we were just trying to figure out how are we going to get these people to stand more. So I had this brilliant idea. I said, why don't you take their garbage cans away and put it in some more remote central location? So at least once in a while, as the carbons begin to pile up, they're going to have to get up and at least walk a little bit and throw them away. And the supervisor looked at me and said, oh, I think that's great. Let's give it a shot. He called me a week later. He said, Michael, it's not working. I said, what do you mean? He said, there isn't one single person that can hit the garbage can from their chair. He's got carbons flying through the air. People do not like to change. That's the hard thing. But if we wait too long, we're going to have to change. And you know why? Because our body's going to send us the message that we need to. Let me give you another example. You been to a movie lately? I mean, they got these like 3-hour epics that are on out there now. And so what do people do? They come walking into the theater. They sit down, they get comfortable, and what happens? The movie comes on, the lights come down, and for 3 hours, no movement, no talking, nothing. 3 hours later, what happens? The lights come up, and what do you hear? It's people trying to pull themselves out of their chairs. Their body's in there going, 2.5 hours ago, I told you I needed to move. 2 hours ago, I told you I needed to stretch and change positions. An hour ago, I needed something to drink. A half an hour ago, I needed to use the bathroom. And for 3 hours, you ignored me. Well, guess what? It's my turn, and now you and I are going to spend the rest of the evening together. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Michael, good to see you again. Have a seat.
Thanks.
Wow. Umpired more World Series games than anybody else.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Can we just talk to him for a while?
Would you like to use my mic?
That's what I'm thinking.
So, sitting.
Yes.
You want to share with us some of your insights in sitting?
I would be more than happy to do that.
That's one of my favorite subjects, by the way.
Is sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been dreaming about this day, haven't you?
I've been practicing.
You know what? I'm so used to that when I travel around and do classes on sitting, and I walk into a room and everybody's already sitting and they're going, well, you can leave now because as you can see, we've got it already.
We got to figure it out.
It's like telling people you're going to teach them a class on breathing. You either know how to do it or you don't. And in fact, it's not about whether you know how to do it. It's whether or not you know how to do it in ways that are more demanding or less demanding. I'm working with people all the time that have neck aches and back aches and a lot of fatigue that they're experiencing. And a lot of that has to do with the way that they are sitting. I'm going to bet by the end of a game, I bet he has more energy than most of the fans. And why? You know what he's doing?
Moving.
He's moving throughout the entire game.
Right.
And that's the way our body works.
Yeah. But Jim, wouldn't you like to have a little stool there behind the home plate where you can just...
That would be nice. After 9 innings, I could use a little sit down there.
Well, after 9 innings, that's fine. Go ahead and sit. But I don't think they're going to let him sit before 9 innings. So That's the nature of the game.
Michael, tell me about the power position.
The power position is a fairly simple concept, and all it's saying is that if you are going to be doing work, whether it be relatively light work and you're sitting or heavier work and you're lifting, you want to work in positions of power. You want to work in positions where the body is stronger rather than weaker. Give you some examples. For the spine, it's the 3 natural curves. That's the power position. If I, does my neck look stronger out here or weaker out here?
It looks weaker.
It's weaker, and look at how a lot of people sit when they work. I mean, it's really unfortunate, but the computer has kind of changed everything. People will be sitting there, they'll turn on their computer in the morning, and what happens as soon as they turn on the screen? Right? It's like a vacuum cleaner. It sucks the face in. Ask anybody. You get those knots in between your shoulder blades? What is it? We're working in positions of weakness, and this is where we're designed to be. Another position of power. If I was going to hit the wall as hard as I could, which probably is not a good idea, but if I was, would I hit it like this?
No.
Or like this? These are positions of weakness. What do I want to do? I want to find a position of strength to be able to do it. And it's not about, again, right or wrong, but I'll show you the difference that it makes. Can I use you as a guinea pig here for a second? How about you have a seat right here?
Okay.
All right. You ever had any shoulder problems before?
No.
No. Excellent. Okay. I want to show you the difference it makes in the strength of Jim's shoulders, and actually all of our shoulders, when we change the position of our spine from a position of power to a position of weakness. What I'd like you to do is sit back in the chair, okay? Shoulders up, head up, all right? Now, what I'd like you to do is hold your arms out in front of your body, all right? What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to push your arms down, and I want you to resist, okay? Hold, hold, hold. Wow, that's unbelievable. That's fantastic. Here's the issue. With his back in a position of strength, man, his shoulders are really powerful. Now, I want you to change posture for me. Sit forward at the edge of the chair. Now slump. Really slump forward. You're good at this, aren't
That's
you?
a familiar position.
It is a familiar position. Now, hold your arms out in front of your body. I mean, this is like a typical work posture. Now, do not let me push your arms down. Hold, hold, hold. Notice a little difference there?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Hardly any resistance. Now, if people are sitting and doing a job and their back is flattened out, typically where are their arms? They're out in front of the body, whether you're keying at a keyboard or you're assembling something or whatever, and I am significantly stronger with my back in a position of power than I am in one of weakness. Okay, thank you, Jim. Still no shoulder problem?
No.
Okay, good. All right. So a position of power, it doesn't mean stay in that position all day long. What I try to tell people to do is say, look, if I know that I am stronger with my back in the 3 natural curves, if I know that I'm stronger with my wrists in line with my forearm, if I know I'm stronger with my head over my shoulders, then I'm going to try to create, if I can, a work environment that invites me into those postures. Here's what happens. People will come to work and people move around all day long. But if my keyboard's over here and my mouse is over here or what I'm working on is way over here, then guess what? As soon as I sit down to start working, I'm immediately being invited outside of these power postures.
I see.
If my keyboard's in a good spot or my work's in a good spot, guess what? During the day, am I going to maybe slump a little bit? Sure. Yeah. Am I going to, rotate or cross my legs or do something different? Absolutely. But all of a sudden, when my boss walks by and says, "Get that report done," and I got to focus in again, guess what? I'm focusing in on a workplace that's inviting me back to these positions of power. So at a minimum during the day, we're saying to people, check back in. Check back into these positions of strength. And then you can migrate from there. That's fine. But make sure you're checking back in. So that's kind of the power position.
So you can kind of mix it up in terms of your position? You can change positions?
Totally mix it up. Not only
you don't want to sit straight all day long, do you?
Well, think about this. Who sits like this? Are you comfortable now?
No.
No, of course not. If you ever see a picture of a person sitting in perfect posture, it's probably a drawing.
Yeah, right. Well, how about when you hear the phrase, sit up straight? I was told many times as a kid to sit up straight.
Well, there's a couple reasons. One is sitting up straight, which actually means sitting with the natural curves. Well, you saw the difference that made with Jim.
Right.
You got much more strength in the power position. The other problem is, how's this look at the dinner table?
It doesn't look very good.
It's not terribly attractive.
No.
Now, the thing is, this is increasing the demands on my back. But what people need to know, that's actually okay to a degree. Because if I do something that increases the demands on my body, I don't know, I'm sure you exercise as strong as you are. Does exercising increase the demands on your body?
Oh, of course it does.
It does, but right. So we seem to think that demands are bad, but in fact, demands to a certain degree are okay. Our body can tolerate that pretty well.
Yeah.
The problem is, if I sit like this all the time, and then I sleep, like this on the couch, and then I drive my car like this, and I do, I've got some problems because it's a cumulative effect.
Yeah.
If I stay like this for a few minutes, and then I come back up and get in better posture, that slouch is actually okay. Mm-hmm. Why? Because I don't stay in one position long enough for it to become an issue. It's very hard to get everybody to just completely change their sitting posture. It's a deeply ingrained behavior. All I'm saying to them is keep in mind that when you create your environment, if you've got some control over it, have one that invites you into better posture, and then sure, you can move, you can slump a little bit if you need to, change posture. That's one. And then the second thing is to find more than one way to do the same job. Yeah. So, for example, probably wouldn't be appropriate for you, but you could conduct some of your interviews from
standing
a standing
up.
position.
I could do that.
You certainly could do it. Probably not the best example of that, but I tell folks, look, if you're going to be talking on the phone for a while or whatever, do you have a large file cabinet that you can maybe stand and work on for a while? Yeah. Something where your body goes, oh, a change. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Change of job description. So first thing is try to work in the power postures. Second thing is mix it up. You mix it up and you dramatically reduce the body's fatigue that it accumulates during the day.
You make it sound so simple, Michael.
Well, it's a simple concept to say. Yeah. It's a heck of a lot harder to actually apply this stuff.
It's true. Yeah.
Well,
good. Hey, good stuff.
My pleasure.
Thanks a lot. You going to come back and visit us?
Nice to meet you. You invite me, I'll be here.
Excellent. Right. Okay, Michael Melnick. We'll be right back.